A few days ago, I made a response video to this YouTuber called Pitch Meeting because he was dealing with the highly political She-Hulk and he was trying to fence it. That was the reason why I made that video. And my comment section was inundated with upset Pitch Meeting fans. And we'll get to the comments of these. But first, to give it some context, Pitch Meeting does comedy skits, critiquing film and television shows. But the thing is, he tried to do She-Hulk, right? She-Hulk is not a comedy. It is a political television show. It's a feminist show that spits on men. That's its purpose. That's why it's not funny. That's why nobody laughs at it. It's a political. So what he's guilty of trying to fence it because he actually brings up how men are spit on in the show. And then he does two things. One, he calls the guys being spit on internet dudes to try and say he isn't one of them. And the second thing, he tried to say it was a complex issue and people try to put you in two extremes. And I pointed out that there are no two extremes because there's no reasonable moderate middle ground. There's none. You are either for a hate movement or you're against it. And this hate movement hates all men. There's not just guys who use the internet, guys who don't use the internet, guys who do anything because it's against men. So we know what the content says, right? Now, I did put a clickbaity title so people get to see this because they have to be made aware. They have to be made aware that there is not a fence to sit on. That's the purpose of my video. All right. Now, this is the very worst comment. Arnab Khan. Ryan, please give a copyright strike here. I don't know why this shit is even recommended to me. Well, Arnab, it's recommended to you because you watch Pitch Meeting and I put his name in the title. And you want him to give an illegal copyright strike. What a low-life move. Oni Dishonest Shills even says it. What a low-life move to do. This isn't a man of low character. He's a man of no character. You really think that he would do this? For one thing, any decent YouTuber that is a YouTuber that is doing well for themselves would not make an illegal copyright strike. Because then other people would follow suit and do it to his channel if they felt like it. That's why it's not going to happen for that reason, Arnab. But also, it's just common sense. You couldn't make critique or response videos if people went around and did horseshit like that. Okay? So there's that. Now, these guys in the comments, this is the worst one. He's the only one who's done this thing, thankfully. These guys usually come in one of two kinds. They didn't watch the video, or they avoid what was said in the video. They avoid the content. Now, David Ortiz was a good one who avoided it. She says, this is like criticizing LeBron while seating on a couch. I think he meant sitting. So ideas are based on sub count. You aren't very bright. He's trying to make it about sub count. 1.8K versus 1 million views. You use his pic and the thumbnail to get more views. Dude, people put the subject matter they're talking about in the thumbnail so people can know what you're talking about. So it's not just to get more views. I mean, this is common sense. This is video making 101. So people aren't allowed to picture the person you're talking about? Come on, dude. Your shit is not original. I bet you not going anywhere with this. Okay, if you said, I bet, that means you didn't watch the video. So how can you say my content, my shit isn't original? Also, we are saying original. I and a handful of the Pro Male Collective are the only ones saying this. We're very original, Then I said, okay, And also point out, I have way more subs and views than you, since the guy doesn't have a channel at all. So therefore, my opinions outrank yours, just going by your logic. And so then he tries to backtrack and says, well, I'm not a clout chaser or looking for attention, get views. Neither am I. I am a man fighting for his rights, and I will use tactics that work to spread the message. Yeah, so he doesn't know what my channel's about. He doesn't watch my content. He didn't even watch this content, right? And notice these guys stopped responding. I didn't remove his comments, and I didn't ban him. Some people I did, of course, but not any of David Ortiz. He simply doesn't know how to respond to this. Right? So there's a, pitch meeting fan that embarrassed himself, and someone saying, trying to piggyback off somebody else's fame by adding your low IQ commenter that nobody wants. Cameron, you didn't watch the video. So how do you know my commentary is low IQ? You don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, when I called him a misogynist, every time I do it in the video, I use sarcasm so people know that that's not what it is. I'll admit it's a clickbaity title, but so what? I'm fighting for men's rights here. I don't have to play fair. Everything's fair in what is that? In Love and War, as they say. No. Jason, of course, he didn't quite get it. You're all over the place here. He's simply confused because I don't believe he's a misogynist, of course, but I'm critiquing his middle stance, trying to make a middle stance that isn't there. In fact, he even said so. Pitch Meeting isn't guilty of upholding the ugly propaganda espoused by She-Hulk. He obviously doesn't believe it. He is guilty of doing what the average guy does, though, which is to suggest that there is some middle ground where reasonable people stand. There is no middle ground here. You either reject hateful propaganda or you accept it, full stop. That is this video in a nutshell. All right. And Jason actually did turn around and get it. Okie dokie, keep it real. So he got it, right? Dude is anything but a misogynist. So if that is your conclusion, I wish a lot of fun. You have, okay, Harmon didn't watch the video. Okay. And here's another one. This video plays like garbage. The audio is awful. Right? So that has nothing to do with the content of what was being said. So it has nothing to do with the critique. Hey, this video concerning what is happening to men culturally, I meant to say is, I think you have bigger problems than this video is technically bad. When you hear a siren, you don't critique its noisiness, you act in your best interest. And notice that Mad Matt has nothing to say to me about this. He didn't get back to me. They fall silent because they didn't watch the video and all they're doing is being bought out. But even though I got 100 comments, that's nothing by comparison. Most people who are watching this video, I got 1.8K views, according to them. Most guys look at it and don't know what to say. So they say nothing. So most guys are, at least normal. So we got the bad ones. Can't wait to see your like dislike ratio. And I said, I can tell you it's roughly 28%. Actually, it's lower now. It's about 24%. People think I'm attacking Ryan without even listening to the video. Exactly. Another one. See? Now, Wasteland is bad because he did watch it. And he's saying, but getting this riled up with the pitch meeting guy who masterfully highlighted all that's wrong in this show and how it makes public discussion over actual serious matters ever worse. This is a serious matter. Wasteland, a hate movement getting a hold of the culture and attacking men nonstop is a serious matter. And as Mr. Pink pointed out, how did he masterfully highlight anything since he refused to call the feminist movement out? He's a fence sitter. That's right. He's a fence sitter when there's no fence to sit on. Right. sorry, but it felt like you were whining like a little bitch. Really? So when Ryan here, which is his name, tried to fence it, and I called him out, that's being a little bitch. All you guys are projecting. Don't project. Wasteland, don't project what you're doing. You were bitching here. You're not even talking about, you had nothing to say. You just made a claim. You had nothing to talk about the situation. Matter of fact, again, I didn't ban this guy or remove his comments. So he had nothing to say to Mr. Pink's response. Right. Andrew didn't watch the video. Seeing it be, didn't watch the video. They're just knee jerking. Matter of fact, he said, She-Hulk is a shit show, period. And I said, very true. Seeing it be thought, because I put misogynist in the title, that I was backing She-Hulk because he didn't watch the show. Ryan, let's see. Is there anything else? Yeah, there was one other one before we end it. Oh, yeah. First of all, Radical S really embarrassed him or herself. I don't know if it's man or woman. Didn't watch the video. Tries to backtrack and call her out. She-Hulk is shit. He's not a misogynist. You were pathetic. And I said, look, relax, Radical. I used the misogynist slur as clickbait, which I did. Ryan isn't one, of course, but we need to make people aware that the culture is being taken over by a hate movement. Right. Exactly. Radical S didn't say anything to me. He didn't reply to me. Mr. Pink and Yellow, did you even watch the video? Yes. He doubled this down. Yes, the fact that we're having this discussion means that his sarcasm is bad. So she knew I was being sarcastic. So I didn't mean that he was misogynist. So Radical asks, if you had any brains or self-respect, you would have taken this comment down because you're making yourself look really bad there. Now, this is the one other thing I want to take a look. I know Zoom doesn't make good video making, but I do what's within my power. I would love it, everyone, if a hard-hitting YouTuber, someone who has like 100,000 subs or more with mad skills, took up the men's rights cause. I'd love that. But nobody does. So we work with what we've got. And Q&A fan was kind enough to suggest, well, why don't you use something else, blah, 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 blah. And then I said to him, you have your own YouTube channel, which I noticed he did. Good. If you want to help out, make videos with your technical skills to spread the message. If men don't organize, more of our rights will be stripped from us. Some already have, which is all true. Notice I didn't call Q&A any names. I didn't say, hey, why don't you do it? I really mean, no. Why don't you help us out? No. That's what, and something, again, Q&A had nothing to say. These guys have nothing to say. And I got to say, fans of Pitch Meeting here, watch the video before you end up embarrassing yourselves. And be honest. And if you have nothing to say about the content of the video, don't bother coming. Or I'm embarrassing you now as it is. Especially this lowlife, Khan, who wants my channel illegally struck, or however you said it. Disgusting. Oh, wait, I want to say there's one good. I want to point one more. Let's see if I can find him here. Just a minute. Yeah, Brian Conlin, I had him wrong. I owe him apology because he was saying he's pretty sure a joke. He means like my sarcasm was a joke, and I thought he meant like he was backing up Brian. And he basically told me, I was referring to your video satire, not Pitch Meeting. Apparently you are not being satirical. Good luck. And I screwed up myself and said, no, it's not a joke, blah, 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 blah. But he understood it. So anyway, so I know by Brian's responses that people do, if you watch the video, they do get it. So the ones that are attacking me are just upset that I wasn't 100% on board with what everything that pitch meeting did in his video. Right? And I'm not, because you can't fence it. Do you understand that? Like, what's going on with the She-Hulk, that is a feminist propaganda. It's a politically made television show with a hateful purpose. And you can't get away from it by saying, I'm going to be reasonable or moderate, because that's not how you deal with it. And it's not simply that guys want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. And that's how they're getting out of it. There is no reasonable. Okay. So that ends this here.